Hey guys, I think I'm actually live now. This is Talion Trevere here with this week's Speed Paint. Last week we had some technical issues, but I think we're okay for right now. So, let's get going on this one. Oh, a fluffy someone has decided to join us. Hello. All right. Um, let's just get going, I guess. I feel like that's not the right shape. There's some weird shapes going on in this one. Hi, fluffy one. Yes, hello. Do we need a cat pet break? We're on timer. I don't know if we want to do a cat pet break. We don't have time for that. Cat disagrees. Of course, there's always time for cat pet break. Well, I can draw with one hand, and then you can lick the other one, if that's what you want. This looks totally wrong. I feel like I'm doing the thing again where I make the focal point too big. Hello, rye bread. Glad to see you here. Or like something like this. Rye bread making rye bread noises. Okay, Kitty has decided to leave. Okay. Yeah, that looks about correct. Oops. All right. Something like that, sort of, kind of. I'm glad to hear you're making art progress. Hang on. Man, I need to blow my nose. Sorry. Whew, my nose just like started leaking all of a sudden. Gross. All right, that looks about right. Um, so many rocks and stuff happening in this one. Wiggling like a worm out of excitement. Well, we'll see how it turns out. This actually should probably be more like there. Okay, that looks about like a reasonable place to start. I don't know if I'm even gonna bother with this teleport thing. It just kind of seems out of place here. Might just ignore it completely. Who really needs that? And there's some like planks and stuff here. Anyway, I think, oh my gosh, have I been doing all of this on this layer? Ugh, hang on. Let me fix that real quick. Oops. There we go. All right, I think we are ready to start. It's mostly going to be a lot of blue around here between the water and the sky. So, what kind of blue do we want? I'm going to start with more of the sky kind of blue. It's a little bit grayish because of all the clouds. Figured out how to make shorts. It took 46 minutes of work. Well, I'm glad you got that. That's not the right blue, clearly. Technology is complicated these days. Okay, that's closer to the blue I want. I'm just gonna put that around the entire thing, I think. Let's just use that as a base. I think we can have this part be on the base. I think we can have the sky and the water on the same base layer, and then this probably on that too. And then this and this can potentially go on a separate layer above it. So we can do something like that. There is some stuff going on in the sky here. How do we do this? That's not what I want. I need way more saturated, I think. That's closer, but still not quite what I want, I think. I think we might want to go a little bit more blue. Maybe even a little bit darker, but not yet. We can do more of that later. But for now, we'll start with this. Drawing water is such a pain. I like drawing water. Obviously it can be kind of complicated, but I think it's fun. Kind of like hands. Like they're difficult, but in a fun way. This color is not quite the color I want, and I'm not sure why. I think it's the color I want here. Then I definitely do want some more bluer sort of blues. I think maybe I actually want to go more like that. I can hear Cat doing something behind me. Hopefully not anything too mischievous. Okay, let's get a little bit with the thicker brush. Man, I love drawing skies. I really wish I had more time to spend on it. I feel like that's always the theme of these. Italian wishes to have more time for drawing skies. Very much a recurring sentiment. Your cat was laying against your leg and you had to get up and he fell on the ground. Oh no, poor kitty. See, this is why when a cat is lying on you, it's illegal to move. I'm sorry, rye bread. You broke the law. Now you're paying the price. Okay, let's get some whites in here, I think. Might have to go with dense watercolor again. Broken laws far too many times. You're a criminal, rye bread. Real hardened criminal. Haven't gone to jail yet. They've never caught you, is the thing. You're just that good. I'm such a good influence. Of course you are. I do feel like my sky isn't quite gray enough. I think I overdid it a little bit. Um, Let me get some kind of grayer stuff in here a little bit. Maybe for like the darkest kind of bits of it. I think that's working. Of course, I need to keep an eye on my time because I absolutely can spend the whole hour just doing this. And obviously we can't do that. Oops. I think I wanted to switch back to the dense over here. Oh, I wish I could spend more time on this. I feel like it's not looking quite right, but I might have to go with it. All right, I think I'm gonna have to leave that there. Let's get the water in now. Let's see now. How do we want the water? That too much? I think that might be too much. Let's start with it though. Oops. And kind of blend out the transition here, because that edge of the water kind of fades into the distance. Whoop! Hey, what is it doing? You can eat my art, but don't eat me, please. That's not very polite. Let's blend this out a little bit too, although most of that is going to get covered by islands anyway, but that's okay. You're hungry. Oh man. Well, we've got plenty of art to go around. I hope that will satisfy you. Get some more of those tealish watercolors in there. And then get some more shadows in here. Is this a good shadow color for the water? Too big. Too big. I haven't eaten in 17 minutes. Oh no. We've got a very hungry rye bread. I actually just ate before the stream, and I think I just ate too much. It's making me sleepy. You know what I should do? What should you do? And hello, Punk Scully, I'm guessing that is. Do you focus mostly on environmental? That's kind of the point of this series. I've been doing a bunch of like environment studies, basically. So I don't have like a literal timer, but it's 1 hour to paint a background. Um, I think it's something that I'm, you know, not that confident in. I don't draw backgrounds as much as I should probably. So this is kind of my way of forcing myself to draw backgrounds for once in my life. Um, all right. Very cool. It's a skill set that has to be developed for sure. Yeah, definitely. I think this is maybe not the best way to do it, just because I feel like my process for doing these fast color studies is just very different than what it would be if I was doing like an actual full finished piece. Um, so I don't know how much it actually helps, but it helps at least a little bit for sure. Only way I can force myself to do environments is to do perspective practice at the same time. Man, perspective is also super hard. I feel like I need to define this edge more because it is pretty harsh in here. But I think that's one of the tricky bits about doing these timed ones is that I just don't have time to do clean lines. Eats you politely. I don't know if, well, I guess it's better than eating me rudely. My motivation took a permanent vacation. May I borrow yours? I'm sorry. I don't have any to spare either. It's so hard. I think having these streams helps me like force myself to do things sometimes. But honestly, even with the streams, sometimes I just don't want to. So like I feel your struggle, Rye Bread. I relate. Yeah, I know. Mm. How long of a timer do you give yourself? It's 1 hour. So we're 20 minutes in now, which I think is not great. I probably need to hurry things up. Get some more of these greens in here. Maybe in there a little bit too. Let's see, what am I doing? Maybe refine some of these shadow bits a little bit more. It's kind of the the darkest part of the water shadows. Get some more of that here and there. I really need to start getting the actual islands in soon. Oops. All right, yeah, let's stop doing that and go in for actual other stuff. What music do you listen to? I honestly don't listen to a lot of music, mostly just like soundtracks from stuff, like anime openings and video game soundtracks and that kind of thing. All right, let's see. So for this one, I said I was going to put it on the same layer, but I feel like there's so much stuff going on in this layer that I don't want to interfere with. So let's try putting it on a separate one. It's always complicated with these rocks that are clearly like a reddish brown color, but are in so much blue lighting. What color do I make them? Let's see, let's see, let's see. I think they are kind of a bluish purplish sort of color, with these bits having more of the orange coming through. And hello, Bill K. Welcome to the stream. Turning on In Stars and Time soundtrack. Nice. Let's see. Is this color maybe gonna be okay? You look like you might be helpful. Like I might be helpful? Well, I guess what do you need help with? Maybe a more purpley? That's too purple, I think. Rye bread, you feel very energetic today. I feel like that's every day, or at least every day that you're on my stream. Rye bread is our resident chaos gremlin. I help drawing an old man. Unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of time to give art advice right now because I'm on a timer. I mean, if you have specific things, I would love to help out, but um, I am distracted, as you might be able to see. I don't love this color, but it's also not too terrible. Maybe something like that. I'm gonna go with that and probably adjust it later. Oh God, rye bread is ascending. All right, I'm just gonna put this whole thing in with this color and then adjust the colors as needed. We're like almost halfway at time though, so I think I need to kind of hurry things up. Speed painting isn't you're being timed right now. Yeah. Yeah, I am in fact on a timer. Well, not literally. I do like to keep things, relatively loose and casual around here. So I don't have like an actual like, oh God, you need to go right now, right now. But, I do try to at least honor the spirit of the timer, even if I don't literally have one. I do sometimes go a little bit over time because, my stream, my rules. I help with the fact that I always draw the head and upper half first, but the legs always look off. Well, the main thing that would help is to just like draw out kind of the proportions in advance, which I know can be hard, but yeah, if you kind of have the guide first and then start filling in the details. That definitely helps keep things consistent. All right, let's get some darker blue stuff happening. Maybe like that. It needs more bluish, I think. Like that. Yeah, I like that. And actually, let's maybe take the thickest brush for this crack going down the side here. Um, Oops. Okay, this one I actually want to go back to the watercolor brush. These colors I feel like are working surprisingly well. I wasn't sure at first, but I think I'm doing it. Oh, oops, I need to there's like a ledge here. Get the shape a little bit more accurate there. And actually, this whole thing needs to go out more that way. Oh boy, I feel like I'm not doing so good on time, but that's how it goes. Maybe get some a little bit lighter up here. Get the blues up there. Just kind of blend that. Okay, there we go. I think it's sort of coming together. Oops. I think that's going surprisingly well, to be honest. Okay, that's a thing. We definitely need to get some more various shadow things in here and actually go like bluer with the shadows, I think. You want some of my seaweed? I don't like this seaweed. I am sorry, I don't like seaweed either. If you mean like nori, like seaweed to eat, then I am not a big fan. The stolen seaweed was better. Oh boy. Um, and here underneath this, the kind of shadow bits are much bluer. Sort of like that. And there's more like, there's more something or other back there. I don't have time to go into super great detail and all that. This bit we need to get, it's more yellow. I'm not sure how to make that happen. I feel like it should be just like a gray, like a light gray, like that. That doesn't quite capture the yellowness of it, I don't think. Um, Hello, Cookie. Welcome to the stream. Looking great so far. Thank you. Maybe if I go more this way, that'll make it look like that sort of yellower color. I think so. And then up here, there's a bunch of greens. Oh boy, we're halfway done. Okay, halfway is not bad, honestly. I think we're maybe doing okay for halfway. Maybe I'm panicking too soon. We're actually doing all right, I think. How do we do this green back here? Let's see. Something like this, maybe? Would this come out green? It definitely isn't coming out like the bright green that I want, but we can start with this. Kind of as a base. Doing amazing. Thank you for the food. Well, thank you for enjoying it. We definitely need to go way, way brighter. I think we're going to need to put in some actual green in here at some point. Let's just go actual green. Well, I mean, it's still kind of a tealish green. That looks pretty good. And then we want some like kind of shading in it, some darker green bits, which I think we can do just like that. And a little bit of that down here. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, I'm actually gonna leave out these trees for now. Let's put them in later. Let's focus on other stuff first. Namely, putting in this stuff at the front here. All right. Now when we're not as faded into the background, we can go for more actual browns and stuff. So, how do we do this? Maybe still keep it like somewhat purpley. Maybe. That's not super far off. It's too light, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with for now. Okay. Get some like shading in there, a little bit of this and that. And a purple M&M on the ground. Do you want it? No thanks, not from the floor. That's very suspicious, you know. You never know where that's been. I actually want this to be like a more saturated highlight, I think. There we go. Something like that. Let's go back to this brush though. I think I'm probably not really going to have time to put in the patterns on the sides. So let's just kind of ignore those for now. Okay, these like corners here definitely need to be much darker, but I think I'm gonna leave them here, and try to get in the rest of this stuff. Um, let's see. I'll go for more of a sandy sort of color. It'll do. We'll start there. Maybe even put a little bit of that, just kind of, not with this brush though. Just kind of blend that in with these purples. In the back here. Someone was talking to you about Naruto because you were wearing a Naruto shirt. I mean, that's what happens, I guess. If you signal that you're a Naruto person, you're gonna get Naruto fans. It's all on you, I think, at that point. I think this is a little bit too saturated for what I want here, but I don't think I have time to fix it. I'm just gonna go with it. No other comfortable shirts. Still, I think that's ultimately what else are you gonna expect when you go out wearing a Naruto shirt? I feel like you shouldn't be surprised at this. We need the thick brush in here now. Okay, that's looking okay so far. Cool, cool. Let's get this and make our rock color here. Actually, this rock color looks kind of similar to this. Maybe I can use that. It's probably too much. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in with this and then blend in some of that reddish color. Combine the colors. Color mixing time, activate. What's the blue glowy thing? The blue glowy thing is a teleport point. Honestly, I'm probably gonna ignore it just because it's a little bit out of place in this composition, you know? So we don't really need it. If I like have an extra couple minutes at the end, maybe I'll go and put it in, but I don't think it's important. Okay, we're definitely missing some of the foliage. I feel like my colors are like not great here. Like this color in particular just seems really out of place. It just stands out. So let's try to figure out how to fix that maybe. Pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. 3. was the one I didn't want. Pick a number, one or two. Two. All right, good luck with whatever your thing is. Um, okay, we need to... This is like a weird color in this shadow here. It's almost like greenish. Maybe if we go like really weirdly yellow with this shadow here. Like that. Add a little bit of that in there. That's looking pretty funky, but we can blend it out and I think it'll look better. Probably go back to this. Suddenly I'm feeling like we're actually ahead of time for once. Weird. I think it's actually making good progress. Oh, hey, do not do that. I sometimes like to compare the previews here, and I can definitely see that the face of this rock is way too light. So I think I'm just gonna go and cover this entire face in the dark color. And then just go like even darker for the shadows. I think we actually kind of want the shadows to be like more of a saturated sort of color. And in general, I want more like reds in here. I think it's too red. I want my red to be a little orangier. Some like red browns. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. And then we can do these, the sides too. They have a little bit more kind of highlight stuff going on. Like that. Okay, that's getting better. Okay, what's the next thing I want to do? I think I want to just... am I satisfied with this rock yet? I think it's still too light. Just like... sort of like that. Let's leave it there for now. I want to get in more foliage and stuff. So, let's see. Something like this kind of color. Get some of that in over here. And over on the sides here. And blend it in just a little smidge, not too much. Maybe a little bit here. Actually, the ones up here should probably be a lighter color. You know what? I'm gonna do that now. Let's put this lighter color stuff in here and here. Okay, that's going surprisingly well so far. Stuff that's too saturated for being in that shadow. Get some stuff in there, something like that. And I'm gonna try to maybe put a little bit of this in the background too. Get a brush that's more like this. I don't like that. Came out too hard. Let's blend that into the purples more. I should probably have used a color that just blends in more with this background, but because I'm on a timer, I just don't have the time to pick out the perfect color for everything that I do. Such is the nature of the speed paint. Okay, something like that. And then let's go back to doing the foreground ones. Thick brush. Going extra dark at the bottom there. Sort of like that. I feel like we're really making good time. I would like to maybe put in some more detail of these like wooden planks and stuff, but that's honestly not even super important in my opinion. Actually, one thing I would like to do is put in some of these like highlights at the edge of the water. I think that would be very nice. Okay, sort of like that. And then go in with the dark bits. And of course I haven't forgotten that there's like orangey bits at the top of these. So first, maybe even just with that color that I had here before. Put in the tops of these a little bit. And then go in with just like, do I have a good color for this? Ooh, there we go. Just like really orange. But just put in a little bit of it so it's not super overwhelming. Boy, pen's acting up a little bit. I think it's okay though. Okay, sort of like that. I feel like it doesn't really come across very well that these are like, you know, some kind of flowers or colorful things. It you can see it in the picture, but it doesn't read very well. I think I'm gonna leave it like that for now though. Let's see. I kind of want to sort of blend the island into the water a little bit. Just like that's not looking good at all. I think what I actually want to do is maybe, oh, oops. Sorry guys, I kind of froze. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. I'm just gonna go invisible for a little. Um, okay, I think what I actually, hello? Is it, there we go. What I actually want to do is just go and like erase the edge a little bit to make it a little bit softer. I have to do that with the right sort of thing. Hmm. Mm. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do all of this stuff like on the actual water layer. Mm, I don't know. It's not looking quite the way I want it to, but I'm gonna go with that. I'm back. Well, welcome back, Rye Bread. We missed you for all all of 5 minutes. No, let's do that with the softer brush. Came back to a feast, yeah. We're almost done. All right, what do I need to do, guys? I feel like I don't really have time to do the planks. I do think I want to put more of a shadow here. It's not really shadowed enough, in my opinion. Still kind of not shadowed enough. Where's my extra dark brown color? These are like dark blue or dark greens. Yeah, this is the one. Hello, Keyleth. That looks pretty nice. Thanks so much. I'm almost done. We just have a couple minutes left. I'm trying to like get more shadows in here. I love the brush textures, so smooth. Thank you. I'm not very good at using like cool textured brushes. It's just so much to remember of like which brush does what. So I'm pretty much just using like standard brushes. Um, let's get a little bit of, which green do I want? Get some of the greens back. I think probably the dark, super dark one. Okay, that's helped somewhat. I feel like it still needs to be like even darker in there. Is this that's the dark green? That's not what I want. I want the dark brown. Yeah, there we go. Eating a Caesar salad right now. The art isn't enough. It's not filling enough. Okay, something like that. Let's see. I feel like I should put some more texture and stuff here in the front. At least put in more texture in these rocks. That's not the right color. That's not the color I want. I just love Caesar salad. I mean, I guess Caesar salad is probably not very filling. So you're getting your real nutrients from the art, right? Okay, we've got some stuff there. Maybe we have time to put in some of the rocks on the shore. Yeah, it's just a side dish. I see. That makes sense. Okay, we've got some little rocks going on in there. Can we use this color to just put in the planks? Maybe for the outlines of the planks at least. Oh boy, I messed something up here. I didn't leave enough space for the planks. Oops. Um, plank color, plank color. I'll take this maybe and make it a little bit darker, I guess. Something like that. Is that a good plank color? I think it'll have to do. Yeah, sorry, Rye Bread, the stream's almost over. Yeah, I kind of messed up with those planks there. Oops. I don't really have enough space for the ones in this side either. Oops. Oh well. The planks weren't important anyway. Just some random planks. All right, I do think I want to get some more of those reds in here. Oh man, I really didn't get the placement of stuff over in this corner very well at all. But it's all right. It's about the spirit of the thing, not the exact details. Okay. 1 minute left. Let's take a quick look. I don't like how this water looks. Something went weird there. Blend that out a little bit. I think I need some, a little bit of the sand coming in through the water. Just a little bit of that. And then I think I kind of messed up the highlights I had going over there. So let's put those back. What else? What else? Man, I don't like how the water came out. That's sad. That's a little unfortunate. The teals in here. Should normally do a 40-hour speed paint. Well, it wouldn't be very much of a speed paint at that point, but I honestly really have been thinking of potentially doing longer environment paintings. Because like I mentioned a little bit earlier that I feel like doing these speed paints, it is somewhat limited in how much it actually helps me learn to draw environments because my process for doing the speed paint contains just so many shortcuts that I wouldn't be doing if I was doing this for real. So I've been wanting to do like I feel like these came out too purple. The darker parts need to be bluer, I think. So yeah, the point is I was potentially thinking of maybe doing some like longer paintings. Like I kind of just feel like I've hit a bit of a plateau in terms of how much the speed paints are helping me improve, you know? And I think that would be a way to fix that a little bit. All right, well, we are at time. Uh, I still don't like the water, which is a shame because I like drawing water and I'm I feel like I'm pretty good at drawing water if I actually like have the time to sit and think about it properly. But I was just in such a hurry to do this one that it ended up being kind of wonky. Um, Overall though, I am pretty happy with this one. I feel like this is one of the few ones where I didn't feel like I was super rushed and like panicking to finish it. I think I actually ended up making quite good time. And I'm really happy with how this back island turned out. Um, because these are always really tricky to figure out the colors for. It's not perfect. It's not a one-to-one match, but I feel like a lot of the time when I try to do something that's way like faded into the background like that, I'll usually try to use the back layer and then just like take some kind of brownish color and blend it into the background rather than like trying to match the color myself. But this time I did just pick out the colors myself and they actually match decently well, surprisingly well. Um, so yeah, definitely happy with this one. Look at that. I also I wish that I could get the texture on the clouds a little bit better, but that's also just a sacrifice of the speed paint. Just don't have time to do it properly. So yeah, overall, happy with this one. It looks really nice. Thanks so much. Yeah, this one was a good one. Um, Less panicking than some of the other ones we've had. So thank you guys for coming. I hope you had fun. So we'll be back this next week for Expedition 33. Might draw a background myself. Yeah, do it. I would be beyond delighted to know that I inspired people to make more art. Um, right, the thing that I wanted to mention was that next weekend there will not be a speed paint. I'm going to be out. I'm going to be traveling, and then I'll be out the next week after that. So the next speed paint might not be for a while, unfortunately. But we do have game streams next week. So, I hope to see you there. For the Twitch folks, the game streams are going to be on YouTube. So you should go there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys had fun. And yeah, if you guys are inspired to make art, go and make your art. And maybe show it to me if you want to. So, yeah, that's the end of today's speed paint. Hope you have a good rest of your day. See you next week or whenever I get back. Anyway, goodbye.